Nityanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitan Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tata Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anapetya Apetya Krityam Apayano Varaha Tara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Binedus Tam Savabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivanarottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanada Vindam Tave Vasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So we're going to continue hearing from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat through the agency of the Sri Nityananda Caritamrta, excerpts from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, specifically about Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And of course, we begin by offering our most humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Lita Bhavishta, Om Vishnu Pada Sta Tasa Sri Simad Abhaya Chanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada, and unto Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Lita Bhavishta, Om Vishnu Pada Sta Tasa Sri Simad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Raj, and all of our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga. What is this picture I'm looking at? I can't tell. It's kind of washed out. Is that Ban Maharaj there? And who's everybody else? I don't know. Some Brazilians, perhaps? I don't know. Nice picture, though. I'm astonished by Ban Maharaj, his activity. Anyway, we're recording here. So, we're going to begin, or continue rather, with this extraordinary narration. This is chapter 2 of this Madhya Kanda of the Nityananda Charitamrta. I'm not sure what chapter it is in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, but it's about Lord Nityananda staying with Srivasa Thakur in his house and the Vyasa Puja ceremony. Okay? This is a very lovely, lovely pastime, very instructive. So, discussing topics of Krishna in the association of Lord Nityananda overwhelmed all the devotees. So I think they're still in the house of Nandana Acharya. They've just met, right? So it's going on. Maybe not. I'm not sure, because this is taken. I'd have to look at the book. Anyway, they're always in the Transcendental Navadvip, whether they're in this place or that place. So, all of them were pure devotees and most magnanimous. They remained intoxicated, drinking the nectar of Krishna's topics, and shouted loudly in ecstasy. Nityananda Prabhu smiled and looked all around as the devotees shed tears of joy. Seeing Nityananda, Mahaprabhu Vishwambar was extremely pleased. He said to Lord Nityananda, "Listen, O Shripad Nityananda Gosai, where will you perform Vyasa Puja? Tomorrow is the auspicious full moon day when one offers special worship to Srila Vyasadeva. Consider this matter and let us know." Nityananda Prabhu understood the intention of the Lord. He caught hold of Srivasa Pandit's hand and brought him before Lord Vishwambar. Nityananda smilingly said, "Listen, Vishwambar, I will perform Vyasa Puja at this Brahmana's house." Lord Vishwambar then said to Srivas, "You have been entrusted with a very heavy responsibility. Srivasa Pandit replied, "This is not at all difficult for me. By your mercy, everything is available at my house. All the necessary items, such as cloth, fragrant flowers, a sacred thread, ghee, betel nuts, and pan leaves, are there in my house. I will only have to borrow a book that describes how to perform the Vyasa Puja ceremony. With great fortune, I will celebrate Vyasa Puja tomorrow." Right. So even that times, they needed books sometimes. We don't know all the rules and regulations and all the details of all the rituals, right? That's okay to look at the book. It's okay. So hearing the words of Srivasa Pandit, Mahaprabhu was very pleased, and all the Vaishnavas happily chanted the holy names of Lord Hari. Lord Vishwambar then said, "Listen, Shripad Gosai, please give me permission so that we can all go to Srivasa Pandit's house." Nityananda Prabhu was very happy to hear these words of the Lord. So Mahaprabhu was taking permission. He's treating Nityananda as his superior, which by regular Maryad, he was older, right? He was not a Grahastha, he was an Avadut. Whether he was a brahmachari or a sannyasi, everybody debates that, but he was Avadut, which Srila Prabhupada says is beyond sannyas. And of course, he's the transcendental Lord. He has no such designation. But from the ordinary conception of worldly etiquette, Mahaprabhu was treating him, as he did with Advaitacharya, as his senior. So then Nityananda Prabhu was very happy to hear these words of the Lord. Thereafter, they all started for the house of Srivasa Pandit. They had to go up the road quite a bit. Nityananda and Vishwambar, along with all the devotees, exactly resembled Balaram and Krishna, surrounded by the cowherd boys of Gokul. As soon as they entered Srivasa Pandit's house, everyone felt boundless happiness within his heart. The Lord ordered them to lock the main entrance of Srivasa Pandit's house. He allowed no one except the relatives of Srivasa Pandit to remain inside. The Lord then began kirtan. Everyone began an ecstatic kirtan and thus lost external consciousness. Both lords jubilantly danced while the devotees sang around them. I was just listening to something Srila Prabhupada said. He quoted this verse. He'd been speaking about Lord Kapila Dev, and then he quoted this verse, Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavadgrayam Indriyai Sevan Mukhe Hi Jivadao Swayameva Sparatidao. The transcendental name of Krishna cannot be understood, detected, or tasted by materialistic senses. Right? It's beyond that. Right? Only by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord, specifically hearing, right, can this capacity for understanding and the Lord and the nature of his name, that his name, his qualities, his form, all are identical. But in the conditioned state, it's not possible to understand that, which is why people who just look externally at the practitioners of bhakti, they cannot understand. What are they doing? Because even a neophyte devotee chanting a semblance of the name will get some, not reflection, some semblance of the pleasure, of the happiness in chanting the holy name, of the reality of the holy name, and then dance very happily, very ecstatically. You see this going around all over the world. Of course, it may be mixed, with our mundane tastes, but nevertheless, chanting the holy name with appropriate intent very quickly yields result. Sitting in class, hearing lectures with respect and honor, trying very hard to listen attentively, even when the body, the mind, they're rebelling, they don't want to, they want to do something else. But by that, one day, as soon as Mahaprabhu started chanting, they're all ecstatic. Imagine being in that. And what happens? Someone loudly shouted. Someone else roared. Another person fell senseless to the ground, and others simply cried. Symptoms of ecstasy, such as shivering, perspiration, the standing of the hair on end, and being unconscious due to love of God, were visible on the bodies of the two lords, because they would manifest these symptoms to the greatest degree. Right? The two lords danced, absorbed in their own happiness. Sometimes they embraced, and sometimes they cried. Both of them tried to catch the other's feet, but neither attained success. They both rolled on the ground in infinite happiness. They forgot themselves, absorbed in their internal moods. They became absorbed in an ecstatic trance, so that they became unmindful of their clothing. The Vaishnavas tried to quiet them, but failed in all their attempts. Who can hold those who hold the three worlds? Both lords were intoxicated due to relishing the kirtan. Once again, consider that this is God himself, Krishna and his dearmost expanded self, Lord Baladev, who have come to taste the role of the devotee, the identity, the joy of devotion. Devotional practice is so wonderful that the Lord himself comes to taste it. He has an eternal form to taste this joy. Right? And they were intoxicated due to relishing the kirtan. So when we're chanting and, sometimes not so inspired and restless, try to remember this, the way that the Lord and his, dear Nityananda Prabhu and all the devotees, their kirtan, how they did it, and pray that one day we can be one of them and do like that. Even in this lifetime, pray for some taste, some joy, some steadiness, right? Step by step, right? And that faith that drives that awakens that eagerness, that'll come by hearing. That will come by hearing. So then Gaurasundar loudly exclaimed, "Chant more! Chant more!" His entire body became wet due to his tears of ecstasy. Fulfilling his desires to be with Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya lost all external awareness and floated on the ocean of bliss. The dancing of Vishwambar was so astonishing that while dancing, his lotus feet would often touch his head. I remember in Bangalore, we were reading this, and we would try to replicate that, especially the young brahmacharis, and you bend over and bring your foot up, trying to touch your own head. And not in a foolish way, just, happy, trying to remember Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu has a transcendental body, completely flexible. He can do anything he wants. So you've seen, I don't know, if you ever saw those people like in Cirque du Soleil or something, they can stick their legs up straight up in the air and twirl things around with them. And, they're flexible enough to do that. So what to speak of Mahaprabhu, right? Must be beautiful to see them like that. As Lord Nityananda danced, the earth shook. All the Vaishnavas thought there were earthquakes. The two lords thus danced in ecstasy. Who could describe their happiness? To reveal the glories of Lord Nityananda, Lord Vishwambar suddenly climbed on the throne of Lord Vishnu in the mood of Lord Balaram. The Lord, overwhelmed by the mood of Balaram, repeatedly demanded, "Bring wine, bring wine, bring me a plow and club right away." Sri Gaurasundar said to Sri Nityananda, instructed by Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda placed something in his hands, and he accepted it. Some of the devotees saw only the movements of hands and nothing else. Someone directly saw the plow and club. Only one who is favored by the Lord can understand him. Others, even if they see the Lord, cannot recognize him. This is a very confidential pastime. Only a few persons only a few persons must have been only a few persons there, I'm going to edit this, were favored by Lord Nityananda, and they were able to perceive it. Right. Kind of like when Mahaprabhu appeared at the Panihati festival, sponsored by Raghunath Das, ordered by Nityananda Prabhu. This is much later, of course. And Nityananda Prabhu meditated on Mahaprabhu, who was distant. He was in Puri. But he appeared. He came there. And nobody could see, no, a few people could see him. Right? Some could see him. And he and Nityananda were walking down the rows of people and taking a little bit from each plate, putting it in each other's mouth, distributing remnants to others on the plates. Some could see this confidential pastime, others could not. If you're favored by Lord Nityananda, you can see it. So confidential pastimes are going on daily on the altar, right? Daily in the world. If Lord Nityananda blesses us, we could perceive this. So Mahaprabhu, why is he in that mood? Because he's in the presence of Lord Nityananda. When love is so strong, one becomes overwhelmed in that stage of prema with thoughts, feelings of that other person. It's as if you become tadatmik with them, right? You become like one with them. He's not one with them, but he's in that mood. Well, actually, transcendentally, they are. These two definitely are. But he's completely in the mood of Lord Nityananda now, of Lord Baladev, inspired by the presence of Sri Nitai Chand. So he actually received the plow and club from Lord Nityananda, and Lord Gaurasundar became mad with ecstasy and asked for Varuni. Now he's tasting fully this identity as Lord Baladev. Sometimes we mostly hear of Lord Chaitanya in the mood of the devotee, but here he's in the mood of Baladev, which is quite extraordinary, and all the devotees are perceiving this. Everyone was confused, unable to decide what to do, because he's asking for honeyed wine. What? Nimai Pandit, a perfectly controlled brahmana? They simply looked at each other's faces. What do we do? Finally, after due consideration, the devotees brought a pitcher of Ganga water and gave it to the Lord. Everyone offered water, and the Lord drank it. On all sides, the devotees recited prayers glorifying Lord Balaram. The Lord repeatedly called out, "Nada, nada." The Lord moved his head back and forth, asking for nada repeatedly. None of the devotees could grasp the meaning of this word. The devotees inquired, "O Lord, who are you calling by the name Nada?" We hear elsewhere that Nada is a derivation of the word Nara, right? Nara, the ocean. It's that the Lord lies in. As Lord Narayana. So he's referring to Advaita. "It is he by whose loud call I have appeared," the Lord replied. "The one you all call Advaita Acharya is known as Nada. I have appeared because of him." And there's a quotation here, the long quotation of his statement here. "Nada brought me here from Vaikunta, but he is living peacefully with Haridas. I descended to inaugurate the Nam Sankirtan movement. I will preach this chanting in each and every house. However, I will not give love of God to those fallen souls who offend my devotees, being proud of their learning, wealth, high birth, knowledge, and austerity. I will freely give to everyone this love of God, which even Lord Brahma rarely attains." So again, preaching his message, but if you offend his devotees, being proud of your learning, "Oh, I know so much," your wealth, your high birth, which means also your status in society or your institution or your branch of devotion, right? Your knowledge, even your austerities, these won't help you if you offend a devotee. If you offend a devotee, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not be pleased and you will not get this gift. And again, we've heard, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also confirms that this, even if one is observed to have perfect behavior and chanting regularly, prescribed number of rounds, doing all their devotional activities and blessed with all these external ornaments, if they are offending devotees, it's worthless. It's worthless. While hearing the Lord, all the devotees floated. Until you give up that offensive mentality and repent, you won't get bhakti. You won't. You may get position, you may get status, you may even be worshipped as a great devotee. This goes on all the time. There are so many people who are acknowledged as great, great devotees who are not because of so many reasons. I mean, we've heard stories of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada meeting such people, Mahaprabhu meeting such people, so many others. When you're not self-realized, you can become bewildered by external qualities, because some of these external qualities are symptomatic of someone who is advanced. Someone who is advanced, they have those qualities. But you could be very advanced and have none of those qualities. Bhakti sanjataya bhaktya. It comes from the association of Vaishnavas by Bhakti Devi herself. It doesn't come from these other things. Right? So, while hearing the Lord, all the devotees floated on the ocean of bliss. After some time, the son of Shachi became calm. What mischief have I done? The Lord inquired. The devotees replied, "Oh, nothing serious." The Lord then embraced everyone, saying, "Please excuse my offenses." Because he's generally in the mood of a devotee. Now he was showing and acting like Lord Narayan, Gora Narayan. And if he becomes aware of that, he becomes embarrassed, right? Becomes embarrassed. Hearing the Lord's words, the devotees began to smile as Nityananda Prabhu rolled on the ground. He was unable to check his emotions. Love of God overwhelmed Lord Nityananda, who is not different from Lord Shesh. Sometimes he laughed, sometimes he cried, and sometimes he loosened his clothes. He appeared to be very childish. What remained of his sannyas danda, what remained of his water pot, and what remained of his clothes, he scattered everything all over the ground. Right, so this is part of the debate. I don't know whether the original verse says danda or sannyas danda, because brahmacharis also carry dandas. But sometimes Nityananda addressed as a sannyasi. There are descriptions in Chaitanya Caritamrta and Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sometimes he dressed as very opulent, with beautiful silken clothes and ornaments and jewels and all kinds of things. Sometimes he didn't have any clothes at all. Very difficult to understand what is his position. And especially because later on, he was ordered by Mahaprabhu to get married, right? Which he did. Took two wives, the two sisters, Janava and Vasudha. And so Srila Prabhupada said that he remained brahmachari. Others indicate that it's uncertain. But I know that most people, they don't want to discuss of him as a sannyasi because they think that it might set a precedent for unscrupulous people to say, oh, well, Nityananda was a sannyasi and he got married, so I can do it too. Right? I can be with women because he did it. That's ahangropashana, that's like imitating on a terrible level. Can't imitate Nityananda. Just like you can't imitate Lord Shiva and his activities. unless you can do the other things that Lord Shiva does, like drink an ocean of poison, like that, then how dare you? So, the extremely grave Lord Nityananda became very agitated. Then Lord Chaitanya personally caught and pacified him. Appearing like one who is intoxicated, Lord Nityananda was pacified by the words of the Lord. The Lord said, "Please be quiet now. We will celebrate Vyasa Puja tomorrow." After calming Lord Nityananda, the Lord returned home. All the devotees also returned to their respective residences. Lord Nityananda, however, remained at the house of Srivasa Pandit. That same night, Lord Nityananda loudly shouted and broke his sannyas danda and water pot to pieces. Early the next morning, when Ramai Pandit got up from his bed, he was astonished to see the broken danda and water pot. Ramai Pandit at once told Srivasa Pandit about this. Srivasa said, "Go tell this to Lord Chaitanya." Hearing of this incident from Ramai Pandit, who was a brother of Srivasa, right? Lord Chaitanya hurried to Srivasa Pandit's house. He saw Nityananda Prabhu laughing loudly, as if devoid of external perception. Lord Chaitanya picked up the broken sannyas danda and went to bathe in the Ganga with Nityananda Prabhu. All the devotees headed by Srivasa Pandit also went with them to bathe in the Ganga. There the Lord personally threw the broken danda into the water, because the danda is considered like a deity, like a form of Lord Vishnu. So if it's broken, you put it in the Ganga. Unable to pacify the greatly agitated Nityananda Prabhu by his words, the Lord had to chastise him. Seeing a crocodile, Lord Nityananda tried to catch it. Gadadhar and Srivasa Pandit exclaimed, "Alas, alas!" Nityananda Prabhu fearlessly swam to the middle of the Ganga. Only the words of the Lord made him become somewhat peaceful. Vishwambara called to Nityananda, "Hurry up! Today we will celebrate Vyasa Puja." Okay. Upon hearing the call of the Lord, Nityananda Prabhu came back to the shore of the Ganga. After completing his bath, he returned home with Lord Chaitanya. Soon, all the devotees gathered at the house of Srivasa Pandit and began to perform Nama Sankirtan. So, Sri Chaitanya appointed Srivasa Pandit as the head priest for the Vyasa Puja ceremony. Thus, by the Lord's order, Srivasa Pandit performed whatever was required. Everyone chanted the holy names of the Lord in a very sweet melody. The house of Srivasa Pandit was transformed into Vaikuntha. Knowing all scriptural conclusions, Srivasa Pandit, because Srivasa Pandit, he's Narad Muni. He's the author of Narada Pancharatra, all the rules and regulations of all these things, right? He executed the prescribed rituals with utmost care and expertise, placing sandalwood paste and beautiful flower garlands in the hands of Nityananda Prabhu. He said, "Listen, Nityananda, offer this garland and recite these prayers while offering obeisance to Srila Vyasadeva. It is the injunction of the scriptures that one should personally worship Srila Vyasadeva, for by satisfying him, one achieves all success." Nityananda kept saying, "Yes, yes," but he did not quite know what prayers to recite. Nobody could understand the whispering sounds of Nityananda Prabhu. Holding the garland in his hands, he repeatedly looked around him. The most magnanimous Srivasa Pandit then told Nityananda, "My dear sir, why are you not worshipping Srila Vyasadeva?" So he's standing there. Again, his behavior is often bewildering, but this seems to be a very straightforward thing. Nityananda, you be the one to garland Lord Vyasadeva on the asana, right? I guess they had a photo, whatever. That's what we would have. And he's just mumbling and looking around as if confused. So he says, "You're not worshipping Srila Vyasadeva." Hearing the words of Srivasa Pandit, Sri Gaurasundar quickly rushed in front of Nityananda and told him, "Listen to me. Please place this garland on Srila Vyasadeva at once and thus complete the Vyasa Puja ceremony." All the Vaishnavas were overwhelmed by ecstasy as they observed the Vyasa Puja ceremony with great pomp. Some of them danced, some sang, and some rolled on the ground. Everyone tried to catch hold of each other's feet. Shachi, the mother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the entire universe, saw the fun from a distance. Seeing both Vishrambar and Nityananda, she considered them equally as her sons. The Vyasa Puja was a most magnanimous event. Only Lord Ananta could properly describe it. I am simply trying to glorify the qualities of Nityananda Prabhu in codes. If someone or other glorifies Lord Krishna, he will be benefited. Codes, aphorisms, right? Little sutras. These things are described in brief, but contained within them are the seeds by which the whole pastime and all the understanding can grow and manifest in our heart. They say over and over, there's no possibility of describing these daily pastimes, what to speak of daily, hour to hour, moment to moment, in detail, because everybody's perceiving it, experiencing it in a special way. The pastimes are unlimited, but just hearing it, then gradually, greater appreciation, greater understanding, greater attraction, greater greed, greater love for all of this will come. Vyasa Puja ceremony, I've heard from Vaishnavas that in that ceremony, when he's looking down, it's not mentioned here. Let me continue to read, and then we'll see what may be in other places. Vyasa Puja ceremony was concluded at the end of the day. All of the devotees then began to dance with Vishrambar. They were all maddened with feelings of jubilation. They cried out, "O Krishna!" Exhibiting his own devotional service, Vishrambar was peaceful. He then advised Srivasa Pandit, "Bring all the prasad of Vyasadeva right away." When Srivasa Pandit brought all the prasad, the Lord personally served everyone with his own hands. Being personally served by the Lord, by Lord Chaitanya, the devotees joyfully honored the prasad. The Lord personally invited and then served all the members of Srivasa Pandit's household. The servants and maidservants of the Vaishnavas easily received what the demigods headed by Lord Brahma rarely attained. So Mahaprabhu invited the servants, "You come, come, come," and he personally served them. Right? Why? Because they are the servants of his servant. They're the servants of Srivasa Pandit, so they're so dear to him. In another place he says, "Oh Srivas, everybody, you and your family are all liberated. What to speak of your family? Even the servants, even the animals in your house are liberated by your association and by my mercy." All these wonderful pastimes were performed at the house of Srivasa Pandit. Who can describe his good fortune? In this way, various wonderful pastimes were performed at Navadvip that were unknown to ordinary people. Mahaprabhu then told everyone, "Now that the Vyasa Puja ceremony is completed, chant the holy name of Krishna. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their pastimes." Now, another detail of that is that when he's mumbling, Lord Nityananda, indistinctly, people are not understanding, and he's not putting the garland on Vedavyas, on Srila Vyasadeva. Vaishnavas, I've heard say that he is mumbling, who is this Vedavyas? Who is this Vedavyas? You know, in a semi-disparaging way. Because, in fact, Vedavyas in most yugas, he is a Shaktivesh avatar, empowered by the Lord. And sometimes he's an expansion, a special avatar of Lord Vishnu himself. But he's still an expansion, coming from Shridakshay Vishnu, he's an expansion of an expansion of an expansion, all coming from Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda is mumbling, who is this Vedavyas? But when Mahaprabhu came up to him, he put the garland on Mahaprabhu. And there, thus, he became satisfied, because the idea of worshiping Vedavyas is to worship the disciplic succession and the sources of it, but ultimately the Lord himself. And so if the Lord himself is there, Nityananda is thinking, why would I worship Vyasadeva in front of my supremely worshipable Lord, Lord Chaitanya? And Mahaprabhu was pleased by his doing that. Right? So, beautiful pastime. And we're going to hear more and more and more as days go on. We will offer our respectful obeisance unto our direct gurus, to our beloved Diksha Guru, who's also our beloved Shiksha Guru, the Jagat Guru, Sri Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto Tatsat Sri Simad Abhaya Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada, and to our Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Sri Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto Tatsat Sri Simad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Raj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. Of course, our Guru Varga, Gaur Premanande, Haribol.